MVP proudly presents the premier outdoor show in northeastern and central Pennsylvania. Pennsylvania Outdoor Life, your window to the great outdoors. Tonight on Pennsylvania Outdoor Life.
The last-minute search is on for bucks to collar and follow. We'll take you headfirst into the research. And we're ready to ask Tom Clark about the opening day of the trout season weather.
If you're ready to wet a line, Pennsylvania Outdoor Life starts right now.
Good evening and welcome to Pennsylvania Outdoor Life. I'm Ken Hunter and I'm here with Don Jacobs.
Good evening.
Jake, finally we've gotten a little break in the weather. It's starting to get nice again. You know, I once read a report by some biologists. They said if you have a hard winter, and we had a pretty hard winter this winter, if March is not too bad, a lot of the deer, a lot of the turkeys will recover nicely. And you know, I think that's kind of happened this year. I've seen the deer and the turkeys out in the fields feeding. Looks like some pretty good numbers.
Yeah.
So I feel pretty good about the fact that March kind of let up on us a little bit.
Yeah, and they say that the reason for that, if I read the same study, was because all their fat supply is dwindled by that time. If they get hammered, that's it. But there are some people still trying to find out more and more and more about the Pennsylvania deer herd. Of course, we're on top of that buck study that's going on. Now, right now in Pennsylvania, there's a whole bunch of researchers out trying to capture deer with button bucks or with the resemblance of antlers from last year. And that's exactly what they do with clover traps as the research is continuing out in central Pennsylvania.
Typically what we run first thing in the morning is our clover traps, and these are box-style traps. They're a lot like a live trap that you might see for a raccoon, but obviously they're sized a lot bigger, and they're designed to catch one deer at a time. And they're pretty mobile. We can pick them up and move them around, and in both Center County and in Armstrong County, we're running 40 of these traps in each study area. And so this is basically a walk-in style trap where the deer walks in to get the corn, hits the trigger wire, or hits the trip wire, and the door closes behind him. And then we can process any deer that we catch in the clover trap that way. Okay, we got a deer in this trap. Okay, it sees us coming. So we can close the distance here. Okay, to recap, we got a collar on it done. Just open the door up and let them go. Door's on the other side. Go, 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 go. Okay. It's a buck that already had a collar on it. Since we already caught him and already got the date on him, we want to make sure he doesn't spend any more time in the trap than what we need.
He's healthy. He's still going.
He's still running, so sometimes they don't learn. You know, catch him once and they're going to come back.
Wow.
That's a good sign. I mean, we know he's alive. We track him with the radio collar, but he's certainly still firing on all cylinders. So far in the first 2 years of the study, we're seeing that that these yearling bucks, between 50 and 60% of them, of the ones that we have radio tagged, are surviving the hunting seasons. Got a buck. We got an adult buck.
The other capture kit has the drugs.
Okay. This is an adult buck, so we're going to drug him so we have time to put a GPS collar on him. Okay, he's lost his antlers. Watch the door here, Paul. So we're going to give him an injection of xylazine. This is the same drug that we use on drop nets and rocket nets.
After the deer was sedated, Eric gets ready to apply the Global Positioning System collar, or GPS.
What we're going to do is we're going to take the magnet off. This should turn the collar on. Okay. The collar's going to give a series of beeps that says I've started it up. This is a special GPS collar that we use. It's a satellite collar. This is similar to the collar that we put on the 8-point that we caught in the drop net last year. What this collar needs to do is it'll give me a series of startup beeps, and then it'll shut off. Okay, now it's shut off, and during this time, it's trying to figure out where it is. It's acquiring a signal from the satellite. So for 90 seconds, this will be quiet. And then when it turns back on, it'll give me a special code to let me know that it's ready to go. Exactly. So while this deer is getting the drug and getting sedate, we're gonna have this initialized. That'll give us some time to, it'll figure out where it is, and then we have time to put it on the deer. You hear that double beep on every 6 feet? Okay, that means it's ready to go. It's beeping fast because it was still. Now when I shake it, it'll slow down a little bit. We should still have that double beep going. Okay, yeah. That's how we know it's not a button buck. This is the pedestal. That's the part of the skull that the antler grows from every year. So he lost his rack from last year. And before too long, he'll start growing new antlers for the next year.
The buck is assigned numbered ear tags for identification purposes. Antibiotic is sprayed onto the ear to prevent infection, and the GPS collar is placed around the neck of the buck.
The foam is just a little added protection that we put on these collars. Gives them a little extra room to grow. That foam over the course of a year will break down as the deer grows.
After the collar is securely fastened to the deer, a chest measurement is taken, and Eric ages the animal.
This is he was a year and a half this hunting season. He's got nice sharp premolars. He's a pretty young deer. The teeth aren't worn down too bad. So this is a year and a half old deer. And then we can let him wake up at his own pace. He already seems to be a little aware. I wouldn't be surprised if he kind of stumbles away here on his own. Okay, here he goes. A little wobbly yet. He's looking good. All 4 legs are moving real well. He knows which direction. Now there, he's getting some speed to him. He's off. It's good. And we will get a lot of information from that collar.
Eric Long of the Pennsylvania Game Commission and Penn State research still continuing here in the state of Pennsylvania. And I'll tell you, Ken, we have promised our viewing audience that we will follow them all the steps of the way, which we have. As soon as the numbers are out, we have a story that sort of wraps up why we're doing this, some good examples, and this last year's harvest numbers from the deer hunting season. So we've got even more follow-up on this deer research.
Really interesting. I can't wait to see some of these results. I'm sure everybody else feels the same way.
We have some great stories on that.
Well, listen, don't go away. We're going to go to a break, but as soon as we come back, we're going to have a very special guest to talk about the weather. Welcome back to Pennsylvania Outdoor Life. And as we promised, we do have our special guest here, Tom Clark. And Tom, you are not here to talk about your top 10 tactical tips for taking trout. You have something else you want to talk about.
You can't even say that.
I can. I don't even think I have one tip. But, I do
you
enjoy
have some
fishing.
other tips for us, though.
I do very much. Ken, Don, great to be on the show with you guys.
First time for you?
I think it is.
Well, welcome
Yeah, it's
aboard.
been a while.
Nice cabin, too, isn't it?
Hey, it is pretty.
We'll give you the tour later.
Okay, this is.
But you're here to be proud, right?
I'm here. I am very proud of this. We have the new Storm Tracker 16 Weather Almanac and Video CD-ROM that has just come out. So
you've been working on it. I've seen you guys over there in the Weather Center working.
We
Tell us a little bit about what it is. How long is it taking?
Well, what it is, it's basically an almanac. It's a reference book. It's a learning tool. It's something fun to have around. And it's something that we began working on the beginning of last winter. Myself, Noreen, Kurt, Mark, and Ed Stepansky in the art department, we assembled what we thought would be stories of interest for our viewers. You know, local weather trivia, weather history, how you forecast the weather, how you can predict the weather on your own, and things like that. And we've assembled a lot of great pictures to accompany the articles.
Now, you brought some videotape of you, of some of the different things that are involved with this in the CD-ROM. What do we look at first?
Let me show you. What we're going to show you, this is just like thumbing through the, there's the CD-ROM there, which we'll talk about in just a minute. And there's some animation. There's stories that we've done on flooding. Our area is so prone and infamous for flooding. We've put together information about thunderstorms. There's Joe talking about warm and cold air. Kurt Aaron telling us how to look up and forecast on your own by just noticing the types of clouds overhead. And I'm doing a story about tornadoes. We've had some huge tornadoes in this area, and we're going to be talking about that and some of the local characteristics of tornadoes in our area, and the big myth about mountains. Do they or do they not prevent tornadoes from forming? So,
do we have to buy
all about it?
I used to believe that, but I don't think I believe that anymore.
A lot of people ask me about that. Do our mountains prevent tornadoes?
I don't think I believe that.
You have to wait and see,
wait
right?
and see, yep.
Excellent. I'm really excited about this. What else did you bring along with you? You brought some other video here of something else involved with the CD-ROM, didn't you?
Right. We have, well, this is really an incredible thing. This is a great learning tool. Kids will love to use this. We talk about, well, we have a bunch of games in here. And there's also a big story that Mark Sowers did about technology. Our real-time Doppler radar, the only live radar scan in our area that you can see on your TV. Mark talks about our antenna on top of Penobscot Mountain there, all the watches and warnings that we put out, how that's automated and how quickly that can happen and how important that is for us. So the technology of Storm Tracker 16, something we're very proud of, and Mark kind of enhances that for our viewers. People that use this.
I'm excited about this thing. Huh?
I can't think of about another group other than our viewing audience that would use something like this more. I mean, think about it. Our guys are hunters, they're fishermen, hikers, campers,
right?
And the whole bit.
There's reference, there's data for climatology, what's the average condition for any day of the year, weather conditions, records, extremes, and things like that. So it's a handy reference.
Excellent.
That you keep right there next to your favorite chair.
You don't read it once and put it down. You go back to this over and over again.
Now, the CD-ROM comes with the book, and it's filled with, I guess, games too, right?
Games.
I can't wait to see these games.
This is terrific, and they're educational in the same time. There's games about, trivia games. We got our little cloud icon there, and this is really neat. You select the wrong answer, you get like a buzz. You select the right answer, you get a nice little music, and there's video to explain the correct answer. There's the snowball fight. Check that out, Ken.
I like that. Who's going to win that fight?
It's not easy. It's kind of tough.
That's a memory game.
Look at that. Eugene's matching game. You match symbols. Like the old concentration game. I remember that from television years ago. But that's how that works. So these games are fun to play and at the same time educational. And it's interactive. I mean, you're in control with your mouse. You control all the action.
Will you give me the answers?
See me after the show. See what I can do.
Now, these are available. Obviously, they're not free. A lot of work went into here. So to help cover the cost of this, we're going to charge people. How much are they?
$2.
Okay.
And my friends, that is a bargain. It's going to be packaged together, shrink wrap.
Okay.
Okay. The almanac and the CD. And $2.
And it's available at the Home and Backyard Expo. And again, that's next weekend, the 19th through the 21st of March. Next weekend at the Wyoming Valley Mall. And Tom, that's the first place that anybody's going to be able to get these,
the
right?
first place, right. And after that, there'll be other locations that we will announce where you can get the Almanac CD package.
And you're going to be there as well, right, Tom? You and the other folks that are in there.
Yeah,
Noreen, Mark.
Through the entire event, we're looking forward to it and greeting all the people.
Get the book and get it signed.
This is well worth it. I think we'll be selling a lot of these. At least I hope we will. And
I do too. Good luck. Now, I'm not going to let you off the hook this quickly. We know that in about a month comes the opening day of the trout season. Now, what we've done is we have put together a little clip of some of the past opening days of the Pennsylvania trout season. Look at that wind.
See, this is the time of the year where you get so many extremes of weather.
There's ice on the lake still there, Tom, a couple of years ago, but it was gorgeous outside. I mean, there's people in a boat parked up against a half-frozen lake. It seems to me like fishermen will always say, you never know what they're going to throw at you weather-wise for the opening day of the trout season, and there's some obvious examples of that.
That guy's right up against the ice.
Look at that. Slickers, I mean, you get your share of rain and cold. It's a time of the year when you're in a transition between winter and summer.
Okay.
So you can go a couple of days and go from one extreme to the other, extreme cold and heat.
Are there averages?
Yes. The average, in fact, we have a little graphic to show some of the stats for the middle of April. Average low, 38 degrees. The average high, about 60. Now, look at the coldest. 25 is about the coldest it's ever been, the middle of April. The warmest, 90 degrees. And that was just a couple of years ago.
Oh, wow.
When that happened.
90 degrees.
So sunrise on the 17th, the opening day, 6:20.
6:20. But you can't start fishing until 8. Just so people know. Okay. Will you go fishing with us one time?
Absolutely. I'd enjoy that very much.
It was excellent having you
Get those
aboard.
tactics after all. Yeah, thanks for being
Good
here,
luck with
Tom.
your almanac. Congratulations.
Thank you so much. We look forward to seeing everybody at the expo.
What a great project. Once again, the Home and Backyard Expo is this weekend at the Wyoming Valley Mall. It's the 19th through the 21st, and we are excited about autographing some programs that we have, selling a whole bunch of cool things here at WNEP, and especially the Weather Almanac. We're going to take a short break. When we come back, we're going to have much more of Pennsylvania outdoor life.
Welcome back to Pennsylvania Outdoor Life. You know, Jake, with this nice sunny weather we've had lately and some warmer weather, I'm kind of excited about getting my camera out and doing some photography, but I saw that little camera you had, that little digital. Anybody can pick that up and use it.
Yep, it's picture taking time.
I guess.
It
boy,
is.
Oh boy.
The one I didn't get for Christmas,
Yeah.
I got for Valentine's Day.
Well, at least you got one.
I know, and it's a dandy little digital camera. If you have any camera at all and you take a photo, trout season, turkey hunting, whatever, we ask you to send them to Pennsylvania People and Places.
We opened this week's edition of Pennsylvania People and Places with Jonathan Eddy and the buck he shot this past deer season. Jonathan's deer had a 20-inch spread and was aged at 2 1/2 years old.
Buddy Avaglia of Jim Thorpe caught this 18-pound brown trout while fishing in New York in November. Buddy was joined on the trip by 2 co-workers, George Campbell and Wally Mayorik.
And here we see Donald Bailey of Towanda and the bobcat he shot with a special permit from the Pennsylvania Game Commission. Donald's cat weighed 29 pounds.
Nice bobcat. Ken Klinger Sr. on the left and his son Ken Klinger Jr. on the right of Atlas are seen here with Ken Jr.'s first buck. This buck sported 9 points and was harvested in Columbia County with a Remington 260.
And check out Jim Pochus of Troop and the 244-pound black bear that he harvested in Plaster Rock, New Brunswick last June. The bear measured in at 5 feet 10 inches, which Jim tells us is excellent for a spring bear.
Mark Steelman of Honesdale shot this 9-point buck in October during the archery season. Mark was fortunate enough to get in some hunting on what turned out to be his honeymoon vacation. We can only hope he had as much fun on the rest of his honeymoon.
And next we see 13-year-old Andy DeFrank of Stroudsburg and the 8-point buck that he shot during his first year of hunting. Andy's deer had an 18.5-inch spread and field dressed at 165 pounds. Congratulations, Andy.
Ron Scarcella of Whitehaven is seen here with a striper that he landed on Stren Magna thin, get this, 8-pound test line. Ron was fishing in a bass tournament at the time he landed this monster. Originally, he thought it was a largemouth. To his dismay, it was a striper. Not a bad catch anytime in our books.
Chris Johnson of Milton shot this 8-point buck on the last Saturday of the archery season. Chris grunted this buck into range and made a clean shot. His deer sported a 20 1/4 inch outside spread.
In our final photo for this evening, we see Sean Rarick on the left and Bud Cheney on the right, and the 2 pheasants they shot on the opening day of this year's pheasant season. Helping out on the hunt was Bert, the dog, who flushed both birds on his very first time pheasant hunting. Nice going, guys. With this, we'll put an end to this week's edition of Pennsylvania People and Places.
Well, we want to thank everybody for those photographs. Jake, there was a nice variety of photos there.
Absolutely.
The deer, the pheasant, everything, you name it, it was all there. So, and great picture-taking weather, too. Although wintertime's good, too. A lot of people just don't want to get their cameras out in the wintertime.
And they don't want to get off the couch in
That's
the wintertime.
right,
Right
yeah.
now, everybody's got that little bit of cabin fever going on. Welcome back to Pennsylvania Outdoor Life. Don't touch that dial. We still have some more of the show yet here. We have to first again remind you, and we'll tell you why we're wearing these stupid little hats, or these nice hats here. The Home and Backyard Expo. Come on out and visit us. It's at the Wyoming Valley Mall. It's next week, and it starts Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, 19th, 20th, 21st. Anytime that the mall is open, the Home and Backyard Expo is going on. We've got a slew of WNEP personalities, all the weather almanac stuff, and everything else. Come out and visit us. Just raided the closet that's holding all of the boxes, ready to go to the Home and Backyard Expo. I think that these hats, we're going to make sure that we wear these a little bit. I think that's a good looking hat on you.
This hat Tom Clark would wear.
And this hat, Noreen would.
I don't know if anybody would wear that.
Absolutely. We're going to be selling all this stuff. Take a look at some of the other things here. Of course, we're going to have some WNEP hats here. A new product that we just came out with is called Pennsylvania Powder. It's a all-purpose dry rub for chicken and meat and fish and everything else. We also will have some home and backyard hats, a bunch of different colors. Check out these new coffee mugs from WNEP. Beautiful. Enough for me for a morning, just to finish half a pot in. We will also have some home and backyard stuff, and even you could dig yourself out of any hole with this home and backyard trowel,
with that,
right? And T-shirts, of course, like the ones we're wearing. Roll the barrel. Let's give away this whole entire stuff, including this Eugene T-shirt here for kids. Let's give it to one viewer who's going to get one heck of a nice box of goodies here. The Home and Backyard Expo. Join us next week. It is at the Wyoming Valley Mall. And Rodney Brungart of Lock Haven, here you go, bud. We're going to be delivering this box to you from the Home and Backyard Expo closet.
What a nice bunch. Does
You'll
this
be
hat
there?
go with it?
No, it doesn't.
Just this stuff.
Just
right
this
here.
stuff. I'm not going to ship this. This is mine. Are you going to be there?
I'm going to be there.
And you'll have your
My
art
wife's
stuff.
going to be there. I'll be there. We'll have my art stuff. Sure.
Excellent.
Looking forward to it.
Excellent.
Yeah.
What a great show. Thank Tom Clark and everybody else here at WNEP TV for the entire Pennsylvania Outdoor Life staff. Enjoy the great outdoors.
So long.
Pennsylvania Outdoor Life is a local presentation of WNEP TV. We're proud to serve northeastern and central Pennsylvania.